Hi, third period. Nice to address just you guys. I finished reading all of the letters today. It was such a wonderful thing to be able to check off my to-do list and just so great to read all of your wonderful ideas and different things that you care about. So that was wonderful. Something else that was wonderful is my husband was able to find paper towels today. So very excited about that. Anyway, I thought you might like to know a little bit about who all you wrote to, the differences and things, and then I'm going to go through comments for every single person. And they're on my phone, so that's why I'm kind of going back and forth with my eye contact. So I'll do my best, okay? Alrighty, 5 of you wrote on matters of state concern, Alda K. Kirkpatrick. So one about the Georgia Death with Dignity Act, 3 on medical marijuana legalization, and 2 on just marijuana legalization. And then for the federal government, 4 people wrote to Senator Perdue, 2 to Senator Loeffler, 11 to Representative McBath, and 1 to President Trump. So here's the things you talked about. Very few shared topics, which I love. I love because it means you get to do what you want. So here's what you read about. Advanced Geothermal Innovation Leadership Act. What? Marine Mammal Research and Response Act. Faster Access to Federal Student Aid Act, Shark Fin Sales Elimination Act, Background Checks Expansion Act, Support for Veterans and Effective Apprenticeships Act, adding Ireland to the E3 non-immigrant visa program. 2 of you wrote about an assault weapons ban. 2 of you wrote about the modernization of Congress. 2 of you for justice of victims of lynching, aka the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act. 1 on Climate Change Education Act, 1 on the amendment to the Code of Academic Integrity, 1 on COVID-19, and 1 on police accountability. So here we go. Anna, you raised many good points. I like how you addressed these specific counter arguments that would be made to what you are talking about, going after the Hippocratic Oath of a doctor. And you provided specific qualifications. I think that was really smart, and hopefully they'll agree with you. Kellen, you asked them to vote against a potential bill because you believe that it could lead to issues with using that for other reasons. You connected marijuana to other dangers, hazards to your health, and of course brought up the criminal elements. So that was pretty convincing. Perry, I didn't know you were president of Science National Honor Society. That's amazing. Yes, the United States should stay ahead of the curve with advanced technologies. Absolutely. And I do hope that he does the same for what you expressed in your letter, that he does his fair share of research into the bill before casting a vote. And you, of course, can use this time to learn more about that bill if you would like. Hey, and I don't know who your science teacher is, but send it to them and ask them what they think. I think that'd be fun. I know Mr. Siebold, I'm sure, would love to answer a question about that, or Miss Kirby. Reed, I loved the heart on your envelope. How sweet. I also really enjoy how conversational you are in your introduction, especially as how you came to love marine biology. And I really do suggest you watch the episode of Seinfeld, The Marine Biologist. It's a classic. You made some very specific suggestions for how to improve the bill. It was very clear that you were passionate and you knew what you were talking about. So good job. Andrew, UF, huh? All right, I guess you'll look good in jean shorts. No, you're gonna have so much fun. It's gonna be a blast. Way to discuss all the red tape that has to or there is in filling out FAFSA. I'm glad you wrote about something that has such a huge impact on you and your peers right now in your life. Because chances are maybe he hasn't looked at that anytime soon, and now you could encourage him to do so. Nicole, I'm glad you mentioned your job at the aquarium to help him understand why you chose this specific bill. And I like that you requested more regulations and larger fines. These were very specific. And so you made it very clear you knew what you were talking about. And now I can say I learned about shark finning. Okay. Ryan, way to tell her that if she doesn't act like a delegate and do what you want her to do, then she's not going to have your vote. Go for it. You brought up real specific instances that could have been eliminated had this law existed. Memes, really? That's terrible. I really like the passion you brought to your letter. Abby, I changed the recipient to a state senator as opposed to a national representative because this would be a state matter. But very good idea to include statistics from the sales of CBD. They definitely helped your argument be more convincing. Alexis, same thing as Abby. I fixed it. And I like that you brought up mass incarceration. Yes, if this bill passed, it would be lessened in the future. But just so you know, those who are in jail would remain in jail. But it's always a good move to mention job creation and tax revenue, which you did. Good. Blake, same thing as Alexis and Abby. You went the route of arguing for those in chronic pain and other ailments to be able to benefit from legalization. And you suggested really strong limitations and qualifications. I think that was a good idea. Clayton, whenever you write anything regarding veterans, that's always going to be a good idea. Usually these bills will almost always have bipartisan support. You reminded who you wrote to why they need more support from the government, and way to mention the GI Bill. Vineet, I'm glad you could write on something that you made a personal connection to. That's always a good idea. You listed reasons why you think this would be good, and you attempted to pull on some heartstrings, bringing in families who do want to live in the United States and why we're such a great country. Chris, nice job reminding her of the purpose of government. I love how you spun the argument that many would use to support this, and instead you made it work for your case against it. I like how you brought up the original purpose of the Second Amendment to protect people from a powerful government. So good job there. Vishal, tennis. I didn't know you were on the tennis team. I'm sorry about it being cut so short. I don't know if you can still play in your neighborhood. They closed down our tennis courts. But I mean, that's really no skin off my back. I'm not good. Not good. Hand-eye coordination, it's not strong. So interesting that you chose this bill, considering that the House and the Senate leadership just totally rejected the idea of voting or meeting remotely, especially during this time. So why do you think they're so against it? Just think on that. Charlie, I like that you really encouraged her to look into the mental issues surrounding gun violence before curbing gun ownership itself. And are you aware of her background and what happened to her son? But it's totally okay to challenge her stance. I just thought, good thing to know just when you're writing to her about that issue, but it was a good letter. Caroline, 3 jobs. I would eat all the cake. I'm assuming one of those jobs is working with your mom at the bakery. I could never do that. Those cakes are amazing. I'm glad that you wrote about something that has a specific impact on you. Usually that translates to more passion in your letter and a more convincing argument. And it did for you. Mackenzie, teeny font, man. What's up with that? Have you decided between UJ or Clemson? What a fun pick you get to make. It's obvious that you have clear passion regarding what you're writing on. I'm curious what the legal differences will be following the passage of the bill, or consequences, Melanie, how nice that you wished her luck in her upcoming election. I didn't know that these weren't considered hate crimes. And it's always good to provide a bit of history lesson to somebody who may not know. So good choice on that bill, girls. Kate, you very quickly addressed the opposition argument and explained why you believe the benefits outweigh the potential costs. And you provided a plethora of issues that could be helped, even suggesting that it was safer than using opioids. I can talk, I swear. So good job there. Katie, have you been able to keep working at your restaurant, kiddo? I like that you addressed the lack of content in your own school education regarding climate change. Whoops. Based on her ideology, she's probably going to agree with you. So, Riley, you wrote on the same bill as Vishal, and I still find it interesting that they just rejected voting remotely. You really did a nice job suggesting that so many of them, congressmen and women, are older and out of touch, so could benefit from these lessons. And you did so without sounding mean, so good job there. And I like this, you came up with modern problems, modern solutions. So, Sydney, sorry about the golf season. At least it's a sport that you can kind of play with some social distancing. Just wipe down the flag before you take it out, okay? I'm interested in how they can legislate for this, the bill that you wrote on. Immediate action is a good solution. I guess we'll see. Hannah, this is a feeling expressed by many Americans, what you wrote on. Fear of those who mean to provide protection. Going from a state crime to a federal crime would be a big jump, so we'll see. And Amanda, how timely that your letter will serve as a reminder of where we were just a short time ago and how he anticipated your request, and a 3-tiered package has been signed and $2 trillion set aside to deal with this issue. I'm so sorry the concert you invited him to has been canceled, but I'm sure there will be more. Okay, so those are all your letters. Yay! Those are only 6 periods, so they've been in the mail for a little while. And I hope you get written back. I can't wait to see what responses you have, but just know that I read them and I love them. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Okay, at our Zoom at 2. All right, bye. End stream. End. There we go.